Hey guys, have you ever heard of hidden in plain sight? It's that term that they use about the Freemasons who are always hidden in plain sight. Well, right here we have Levi Lusko, hidden in plain sight. Okay, today we are going to look at what is this Ace of Spades symbolism that he's using, and if that's supposed to be a lion of Judah. It's the ugliest lion I ever seen. Well, he's holding up the deck of cards in front of you. He's wearing some type of a ring, but once again, it's too fuzzy for me to be able to tell what the ring is. This guy is supposed to be a pastor. He's giving away Starbucks. Now, you guys remember before Justin Bieber became a Christian, how he was playing on this basketball team, and this guy right here is pointing at Justin's aces with an L-shaped finger for the square, for square and compass. And then Justin's holding up 3 on one hand and 3 on the other hand for his hidden number 33. Over here at the Aces game that was in New York, the female team, the Liberty, which is just men in drag, has a 3-fold flame of Gnosis. This, I believe, was 2017 before Justin had his Christian experience. Here's Justin throwing up 1 number 3 hand sign at the same time that Carl Lentz is holding his wrist like that. But beware of the false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are savage wolves. By their fruit you shall know them. Are grapes gathered from thorn bushes, or figs from thistles? But beware of the false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are savage wolves. So we come over here to YouTube. We put in Levi Lusko, act like a wolf. Here's one from Life Church, where it's act like a wolf. I declare war, part 2. Think like a wolf. I declare war, part 1. Act like a wolf. I declare war, part 3. Do you think this guy might be speak like a wolf? I declare war, part 2. This guy is supposed to be a pastor. He's trying to teach you to speak like the wolf, act like the wolf, think like the wolf, because he's a wolf. But beware of the false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are savage wolves. By their fruits you shall know them. Are grapes gathered from thistles, or figs from thorn bushes, or figs from thistles? So why is Levi Lusko's wolf inside an ace of spade? And why does he have on that ring? I can't answer the ring part yet. Let's keep going. So right here, we see Loosed to Evolve. TD Jakes passes the WTAL torch to his pastor daughter. Now, what we're going to be looking for is, while he's doing this, right about in this area of the video, it says 448. Let me see if I can get better quality real quick. Okay, so we're going to be looking down at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, and we're looking at the bottom of Sherri's head, but the top of her spine. Okay, so at the base of her neck, she has an ace of spades tattooed on her neck, and that has very occult meanings behind it. Oh, one sec. Let's see if I can slow it down. Maybe that'll help too. Playback speed. Right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. I can barely see it, but I have my brightness turned down on my screen. Can you guys see the ace of spades right here on the base of her spine? Now, all of the aces that we've shown you together, Justin Bieber's hand 33, the L square pointing at the aces, this ace at the base of her spine, Levi Lusko's, what does it all connect to? All of that symbolism that they were just using connects back to this. A spade, spadile, or what is often called the ace of spades, is normally the highest card in a deck of playing cards. For centuries in popular legend, it is also known as the death card, the spade or grave digger, the symbol of death. In Freemasonry, the symbol of mortality is represented with a spade, a coffin, or an open grave. If we explore the etymology of the word spade, we will find it is comprised of the words spa and day. I'm not interested in knowing all of this stuff. Right here, it connects to Manly P. Hall in the 33rd degree, and we've already seen Justin Bieber wearing it and throwing up the 33rd degree, the threes with his hands. So all of this stuff that has to do with the spine, right, is nothing more or less than the sacrum bone. So this spine information is the reason why T.D. Jake's daughter has the ace of spades tattooed on her spine. Oh, look, these guys in the occult. Wait. Let's see if this thing. The spinal column is like a serpent that directly is connected to your brain, DNA, and central nervous system. For the person to rise above their lower animal selves, this is all New Age teaching, and emotions in order to reach the 33rd vertebra, to the house of illumination in their brain, they can then become an illuminated Gnostic. This is when the initiate uses his brain to control his body, emotions, and animal self to then operate at the 33rd degree by properly activating his or her DNA, spinal column, central nervous system to become a master of thyself and thy world. You see, the number 33 is a master number that is also a master teacher. The Master Jesus was crucified at Golgotha, the place of skulls, at age 33 in the year 33, which is not true. AD, there are 788,280 words in the King James Bible. If you add the number 78828 plus 0, you get 33. In the occult, it is also a numerical equivalent of Amen. 1, 13, 5, and 14 equaling 33. Now, remember that says for the occult. Below you can see the relation of the spine, 33, and the god Amun for Amun-Ra. Let's skip this part. I don't care about any of this stuff. We just need to know that what these guys are symbolizing, T.D. Jake's daughter, Justin Bieber, and Levi Lusko, are all showing satanic, Freemason, Luciferian teachings. So I don't even need to come to this part. Actually, hold on a second. So, as Plato said, deja vu is an actual real memory of events. So this is where demons actually implant memories into your brain and make you have deja vu. But see how they're doing this thing where they break up the brain into sections? And that visual cue that they can be able to take your thoughts and get you to think what they want you to think based on which part of your brain they're tickling at the moment. This guy, Jeremy Edwardson, I've known him since 1996 when we met at Merle Haggard's studio. Like the big country singer Merle Haggard, we were at his recording studio when I met Jeremy. I've known Jeremy since 1996. All of Jeremy's stuff is complete occultism and it's easy to be able to read, but he's also the guy who's producing all of Bethel's mega hits. He's a GMA, Gospel Music Award, Dove Award winner for Worship Album of the Year. GMA Dove Award, Spanish Language Album of the Year. So this guy has a whole bunch of stuff connected to Bethel, right? Sorry, somebody showed up and started talking. So, this is Jeremy. Jeremy's a part of the Myriad. Jeremy's producing all of Bethel's music. This is the Myriad. We're looking for album covers. You can't trust a ladder. One-eyed symbolism. You think this guy has an interest in fracturing the mind? Breaking it into pieces? And be able to control it? You can't trust a ladder. That has to do with the Kabbalah. So there's this really satanic group that got in trouble for pedophilia that's called Blood on the Dance Floor. There's also another guy whose name is Jeffree Star. They all look like these freak show people, okay? Their road manager, his name was Ryan Johnson. He's the one that introduced me to Jeremy Edwardson at Merle Haggard's studio in 1996. Okay? So the people that are connected to the road manager for these guys went to high school with me, went to church with me, and then they tried to start us a Christian band where the guy that was managing these guys would have been inside the band with us at church because they wanted us to become world changers for Jesus. Okay? So their road manager introduced me to the guy who's the head of all of the Bethel music production. And these guys so Ryan Johnson told me in person, the reason I showed you guys this picture, the reason Ryan Johnson, their manager, told me in person that the reason Jeremy wasn't allowed to go into the Christian music industry was because he had produced a song for Eminem as a ghost producer. And so because he had produced one of Eminem's songs, he wasn't allowed to go into the Christian music industry. So Jeremy won the Do Challenge on MTV. He was out on the Vans Warped Tour. And his band member, Scott Davis, the drummer, is Jesus Culture. It's Jesus Culture's drummer. So all of these people are connected together within one phone call of each other. Okay? So Ryan told me that Jeremy wasn't allowed to have a Christian label situation of his own because of that. But let me show you guys something that it shows you guys how these occultists work together. So I was pulling you guys over here to Eminem Houdini, but the advertisement, the sponsored ad right above it says Reading Civic Auditorium, and that blue logo is a keystone with a chevron inside that was created by Danny Silk's wife, Sherri Silk, from Bethel. Dog Star is another name for Lucifer. It's another one that connects to Sirius, the dog star, and that's another name for Lucifer. So this band that's called Dog Star is now coming to Reading to perform at the Civic Auditorium. That Bethel, that's using the chevrons as their logo and their Freemason keystone, they are bringing Luciferian worshipers to Reading. So if we go over here to Eminem Houdini, I just fast forwarded to 4 minutes. Somewhere around the 4 minutes and 20-second mark, it's going to make a comment about Sherri Papini. And Sherri Papini is the fake kidnapping that Bethel designed the whole stage play. They told us a year before Sherri Papini got kidnapped that Cameron, whatever his last name is, was going to have something to do with it. He was up on stage at Bethel Church. I watched the whole thing in person. They talked about the Sherri Papini stuff. They didn't say it was going to be Sherri Papini. But the whole thing that they talked about a year before the kidnapping all happened, connected. This is Bethel, Sherri Papini, the whole kidnapping. It all connects to the same group of people. Jeremy Edwardson is inside the same group of people with Eminem. Eminem is in the same group of people with Brian Johnson and Bill Johnson and all those guys. They're all Satanists.
Go ahead, Paul. Quit, snake ass prick. You male cross-dresser, fake ass bitch. And I'll probably get shit for that. But you can all suck my dick. In fact, fuck them, fuck Dre, fuck Jimmy, fuck me, fuck you.
Sorry, guys. So, observation. Have you never read the scriptures? The Masons, the builders, are the ones who rejected Yeshua as the cornerstone. But right before that, it says there were 25 men with their backs to the east, worshiping the sun to the east. Now, Eminem's E is not pointing the right direction for an E. It's been turned into a 3 for the 3 degrees of Freemasonry. Caught sleeping and see the kidnapping. Never did happen. There was no kidnapping. It was all fake.
It happened like Sherry
Like Sherri Papini, right? It never did happen. There was no kidnapping. It was all fake. The same way that Benny Johnson is not dead during the COVID stuff, they're taking people, players, off of the world stage and telling people that they're going to have a Project Bluebeam rapture where everybody sees people ascending up into the sky. That's going to be made with a video projector, essentially. That Project Bluebeam, they're going to end up saying right after that Project Bluebeam happens that we're going to start seeing Benny Johnson is alive again. Rob Skiba is alive again. Russ Dizdar is alive again. Robin Williams is alive again. Kate Spade is alive again. Who else? DMX is alive again. Kobe Bryant is alive again. If you go and you look at their Illuminati game card, they've played every single card in the deck except for 3 cards, and one of those 3 cards is their zombie apocalypse. So they're going to fake a rapture, tell the Christians that didn't get raptured that they all have to fight against Jesus now, and that's going to be the reason that they're trying to trick everyone. The Sherri Papini kidnapping didn't happen. Eminem's telling you the Sherri Papini kidnapping didn't happen. But Dan Schneider, who also shows the Sherri Papini connections to Bethel, says that Bethel is kidnapping way more kids. And if you go and start using the logos of Bill Johnson's sister-in-law's 501c3s, they're kidnapping children and giving them to their own occult members. I love you guys. This stuff is going on everywhere in front of our eyes. And if you guys don't understand that the Masons are the bad guys, then inside scripture, Yeshua said, have you never read the scriptures? The builders are the ones who have rejected Yeshua. Those are the bad guys. The very first verse about the Babylonians has to do with them making bricks out of mortar and slime or using slime as their mortar and making bricks, baking bricks. So it's specifically everything when it's talking about the beast that has 7 heads in Revelation. That's the 7 heads of the beast are 7 mountains of the 7 mountain mandate from Bethel. It's all connected to the same thing. It's all one satanic group. Eminem is in the same satanic group with Puff Daddy and TD Jakes and all of these guys. My understanding, since I'm not inside their group, is that once you get to the 14th degree in the Royal Arch degrees, the esoteric side, the side that doesn't, they keep all the secrets, not the guys that go out and say, hey, we just flip pancakes on the weekends. The esoteric side has a ritual where boys are inside their underwear and now they're being videotaped at this time in history, but it starts being blackmail from all the way back then. So when I've already talked about Darwin Hobbs suggesting that I needed to come home with him, the same situation, if I wanted to deal with Puff Daddy, I could have one through Mario Winan, through Mike E., through some people, where if all I did was just produce the drum tracks every day for the rest of my life, he'd give me $175,000 a year. Now, this is not coming directly from Puffy. This is coming from one of Puffy's friends. Okay? Now, I gave them a write-up of what I had an idea for of an American Idol type of TV show back in the early 90s, and it would have ended up being on BET. Now, the person, Mike E., used to be the guitar player for the band that's called Commissioned. And one of his co-members is Bobby Jones, that's one of the, he owns the black gospel part of Black Entertainment Television, BET. So Mike told me if I wanted to have my own TV show on BET, the way that I do that is to go and orally gratify Bobby Jones, and he would give me my own show on BET. Right? These guys are occultists and they're a sex cult. They want to be able to have blackmail material on you so that they can be able to control you. They don't have blackmail material on me. I can be able to speak and as openly as anything that they could bring out publicly. I think I've probably already told you guys about. So this kind of stuff is going on everywhere. It's not just Levi Lusko. It's not just TD Jake's daughter having that tattoo. It's not just Justin Bieber throwing up his 33 hand sign while wearing his Ace shirt. Freemasonry in the United States, at least during the COVID times, they were quoting and telling everybody that there were something like 3 million Masons in the United States. If they're trying to get everyone to wear a mask and 3 million people start wearing the mask, don't you think the rest of the people are probably going to put on a mask? It's the herd mentality. I love you guys. These are occultists. They're not followers of Yeshua HaMashiach. They are the wolves in sheep's clothing, and they are trying to get you to follow them to the lake of fire. Don't do it. Don't touch the new currency. I'm not touching the new currency. I personally believe the new currency is the mark of the beast. I'll show you guys a video of how I come to that conclusion shortly. All right, guys. I love you. Don't fall for the beast of Babylon.